if you're lucky enough to serve in the western part of Costa Rica, which, yeah, there's the Central Valley that has, when I was there were only, I think, 12 zones. I think there's much more now. They have an extra stake in the country. They had 4 or 5 when I was there. They have at least one more. But outside of the Central Valley, there's a string of towns heading out to the east, to the Caribbean coast. But there aren't too many people. It's a very wild area out there. Still not many people living out there, not many roads. But out to the west, that's where you get all of the beaches that surfers go to, and the most popular volcano there and stuff. So there's many more people out there. So you do have a few zones out there. And if you're lucky enough to go out in that area, many times you will be around monkeys. So a lot of people, a lot of missionaries want to go out there and see the monkeys. That was fun. In the country, throughout the whole country, you do have to deal with just monstrous mosquitoes. As I'm Native American, I'm brown, and they have some people said in Costa Rica that mosquitoes don't like brown skin, but they like white. And so I never had that much of an issue with mosquitoes, but I had some companions who would just get eaten alive, and I'd be next to them being, every now and then swat at one or something, and it wasn't much of an issue for me. Let's see, what other wildlife do you have? Oh, spiders. They have really big spiders down there. And most of them aren't, not tarantula type or, wanting to, eat you in your sleep or something. A lot of them are just the garden variety type spiders that just eat bugs. But there's one that's of this variety, but that was still horrific. It was normally about that big with legs. These long, spindly, and it was, I don't know. It was designed to scare people. They're these spindly legs that were mostly black with some dark green, and they had yellow spots and flecks on them, which is just, I don't know. I hate spiders. But they had long, thin bodies between all these legs, and supposedly they don't bite people at all. Like you would see a lot of Costa Ricans who would pull them off the webs and let them walk around their hands and their arms, and try to offer them to you. And of course, in the United States, you don't play with spiders much, and it's something they do there. But those spiders were everywhere, especially as you get more into the closer to the mountains. I served in a couple areas that were at the foothills of the mountains. The Central Valley is in a bowl, so there's mountains up all around it. And you get closer to those mountains, there's more trees and more wildlife, and you get more spiders. Sometimes above the roads where the trees came up, you'd have webs stretching across the entire space between the trees. And they're yellow webs, which make it even creepier. Yellow webs, and you'd see just spiders every now and then, or spiders would fall. Hopefully not on you when you're walking, but they would fall, and you'd see crushed spiders on the road that had been run over by cars. And when I was in more arid areas outside, close to the mountains, you see lots and lots of spiders. As a missionary, you'll get used to seeing, dogs. Of course, they're domestic, most of them. But people don't have fences. Or if they do, a lot of times they just let their dogs run wild, or else the dogs just run everywhere. But we used our umbrella at least as much as we did for rain, we did for keeping dogs away. They normally don't bite. They just want to get close and harass you, but you open the umbrella around them and stuff. I know that's not, tropical fauna or anything, but there were lots of dogs, and that was one thing that I wish I had known before going there, that there would be lots of dogs running, but that's kind of ironic, There's the mailman or missionary that have dogs running after them. But we did have those. Let's see. Flora and fauna. Lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. You'll have lots of fruit trees just growing everywhere. I found out during my mission, unfortunately, that I was allergic to mangoes. And it was after that, serendipitously, that we had lots of mango trees in the apartments I lived in afterwards. Sometimes where it'd be dodging, walking around. I just didn't want to be near them, but mango tree right outside our door. And mangoes, when they fall off all the time, or squirrels will start eating them and they'll fall off. And most of the time they'll just rot on the ground. There are way too many mangoes and papayas and things for anybody to really care about. So yeah, lots and lots of fruit. Mango, papaya, those are extremely common. Cantaloupe, very common. And then they have a few more things. Tamarindo, I think it's called tamarind in English. It's kind of a seed. I think it grows on like palm trees or something, but they make juices out of that. They have certain little fruit that called gas in Costa Rica that they make fruits out of that, or drinks out of that I absolutely love. So kind of the tropicalness that you'd expect going down there, in the sense that extremely big leaves, lots and lots of green. I don't think there's much in the way of poison ivy or stuff like that, but you could easily have an allergic reaction to something out there. So you don't want to go running through the jungle willy-nilly. But you do get exposed to lots and lots of greenery, lots of flowers, lots of gigantic bugs that you never thought you would see that big, dragonflies, beetles, and stuff. But nothing to be afraid of. So it was, I loved it. And I've been back a couple times with my wife, and we've had fun with those spiders and stuff. But it was really wonderful.